So many people wanted me to watch the Engoodening of No Man's Sky. Let's get into it.
Sponsored by that game everyone loves.
Which game? We love games.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night?
Is math related to science?
People think about where the sun goes.
If the universe is so big, then why won't it fight me? As we look further into the universe, we see light from distant stars,
Thank you,
eons
Sombra.
old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away.
Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Can this baby do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering.
This baby do 7. Oh my god. But yeah, thank you so much, Sombra, for the happy birthday. How are you doing?
To 8 times zoom.
Pressure rising, holding steady. I can see it. Unblur.
It won't hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tanks will go critical.
Opening the blind.
Oh my
Hold her steady.
god.
Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio. Now, punch it.
That's a mood.
There it is. Life on another world. And to think, we owe it all to one indie development studio.
I would call these the banana. These are the banana people. But yeah, I feel you on that, Sombra. It's a mood. Oh.
Hello Games.
Hello.
Let's start at the beginning.
Banana. Let's start at the beginning. Oh shit.
It's rewind time. Okay, the year is 2009. Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010
Excuse
AD.
you?
The game just came out. It's a success.
They're a small team, but they are ambitious.
Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars.
They're a success. I can't, man. I can't.
How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out.
Bet that one doesn't perform as well.
We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2.
Oh
Joe
my
Danger
god.
3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before.
Joe Danger the mobile game?
Yes! And that came out in 2014. Seriously, guys, biggest thing you can think of.
What? Don't you guys have phones?
No, I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you're going to make a space game first person, it's never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope. That's not a knife. Who are you going to have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body now?
Excuse you?
The planet, said Murray. Space game. Procedural
Space
generation. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together
good.
a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
No Man's Sky. Check it out.
Oh god. Everything procedural. Nice. Every insert.
Oh my god! This is special! Yes,
Damn. I did not know this trailer had that much hype
It's
in it.
2014, and it's E3
This is
hype time.
crazy.
No Man's Sky has promised to be a game like no other. A practically boundless experience vibrant with life and color and things to explore. What's over there?
The reason I picked it up was because it reminded me of that game where you combine your species. That was the only reason why I picked it up.
You'll have to be the one to discover it.
Spore,
And then, wow,
yeah,
look at
Spore.
that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit. And a moment later, we're in space, having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends.
Okay, that's it. This is going to be the best game ever, you guys. It even won awards for its hype. And
What?
it will release.
It won awards before release? For what? Go back. Best original game. Best independent game. Special commendation for innovation? What? What? Why do we give awards to stuff that's not even out? Do we just give concept ideas? It's a hype award. Why? Why is that a thing?
And it will release in June 2016.
Oh.
The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out of the station. At every stop of the journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game. Spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's so vast that by the time you finish exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published.
2 new videos. The thing that baffles me, honestly, is like no one raised an eyebrow at any of this. None at all. Like, as someone that works, that worked in the industry, right? Like, reading something that says it has this much procedural generation, especially like not even someone that works in the industry, right? Someone that played Minecraft. Like, if you played Minecraft, you would know what this means.
Sean himself was doing the interviews, because who is better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself? He went from interview to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations of the game's scope.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids.
You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit.
They're literally building your own like massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Damn.
Sand planets like in June. Rivers. Walking sentinels. Hacking.
Did he talk out of his ass a lot and then just gave the dev team more work? Oh my god. Oh. This is crazy. Damn.
So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms, they had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
2 years go by.
I mean, no offense, but Elon Musk was hyped about Diablo 2. And by Diablo 2, I mean Diablo 4, but he was hyped for Diablo as well. Okay? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is so crazy, man. I never followed the story of No Man's Sky. Like, I got the game on release, and it was kind of like, it scratched a bit of the Spore itch, but not really. So then I just stopped playing it for a while. I went back to it after a long time, and it was a lot more fun when you could actually play with other people.
It's early 2016, and that hype train is really moving now. Perhaps one of the biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast and thrown from the carriage doors.
What if only 9
Pre-orders
out of 10? Oh, I love that. I like how the question is, what if it's only a 9 out of 10? I'm like, those are some high expectations, people. Gee. Oh.
And they are doing very well. The date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Uh-oh.
Disappointment
Jason Schreier of the
inbound.
soon-to-be-defunct Kotaku is about to spoil the party. He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
That's a small delay.
Liar, the incensed audience cries. Please be quiet, they said. And death threats, too.
What?
But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced. Ooh, sorry lads, we need more polish, said Sean in his usual accent. To that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way, although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police.
What the heck?
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Sometimes. Why you gotta do me like that, internet historian? Why? This is too funny. Holy shit, man. Like, I know people get death threats for things like journalists and also developers, but it's still insane to me to think that someone is so affected by a delay that they do that. Like, it's a video game. Calm down.
But the impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said, fine, we will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen.
All those polish gifts.
Shadow Man here. Have you heard of Raidy Shady? My wife died in a
Raidy
plane
Shady!
Hey, let's get serious for a moment. Raid isn't just a game with 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. That's why I play Epic 7.
Raid.
Play Epic 7.
Differently.
With me.
Achieve your dreams.
With
I'm sorry,
waifus.
sir. You've contracted Raid.
I'm not sponsored by Epic 7, but I need to do RTA
it's
today, so...
Gorgorab of the Undead Horde.
My life, Bonezu.
You've just collected one of over 400 champions. Why, hello there.
Champions?
Have you heard about the online RPG PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play Store.
Every viewer ever!
Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid is more than just a game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night.
Pat on the back.
It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids.
You're getting raids for
And
Christmas.
for download now, kids, using the link.
You know the worst part of this entire thing? There's Raid the bug thing, the spray. The double meaning is killing me.
50k silver and an epic champion.
Oh.
Wow, you're the best dad ever.
Same difference.
Mum's dead?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Ad over.
I'm dead. Taken out of context, that almost sounds like I just said I'm mom, but I can't, man. His ads are too powerful. They're so funny and so amusing and so well edited that I can't. It just makes me laugh way too much. Breathe. Oh.
So let's talk about the team in charge of all that polishing. It's small, tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA release.
Damn.
All of these expectations are on the shoulders of just 6 people,
Jesus
expanding
Christ.
to a team of 15 by the end of production.
Oh god.
July.
Oh
It's just
God.
a couple of weeks until the release date.
That's
Whatever
crazy.
the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at what video game production does to a man.
No.
God, what's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day 1 patch. And, uh-oh. Sean, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's right.
Oh no!
Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling in.
Oh no! No, man. Sky. No. Are you kidding me? Oh, hey, vis-a-vis.
It reaches $1,300 US, sold to
Holy
some guy with the
shit.
Reddit handle Damien. He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
Oh no.
Said Sean and Sony. Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day one patch.
Day one patch. Ranfern, thank you for the Prime sub. I love this so much. Ironing it out. This edit is precious. I love this. It's so dumb and funny.
Sean, it's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date, journalists too, and they started streaming playthroughs of the game. What the fuck? Sony tried to DMCA all these videos, but their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone. We've officially become No Man's censored by Sony.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
They went bumbling around from platform to platform, just taking down any video that even talked about the leak or showed the trailer footage.
Jesus.
But it was too late. The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game.
The edit is so good. Oh.
Especially because there were no early review copies.
That's bad.
And it was looking like the weight of all these expectations had become too much.
Oh no.
And the whole thing was about to give. Oh no.
No one can
August.
hear you lie in
Everyone's
space.
Here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped. Here we go, lads.
Oh, not the squeak. Not the silent squeak.
Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. Hello, Sean. It is me, the auditor of games. I used to work at an astronomy lab. Don't worry about that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nobody would want that.
Ringed planets?
No. No.
Fine. Well, at least let me play as a trader.
They call this junk. Me, I call them...
No.
Those sand planets from June look nice. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No.
No
Animals
rivers
interact
even.
with each other in the environment?
No. No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
No, regular games as well, Razor. Jesus Christ, man. People did an entire list of all the things promised that didn't get delivered. That's terrifying and fantastic at the same time.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool! Oh!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
The flying between systems manually reminds me of Starfield and the streamer that spent 8 hours going towards a planet and going through it. I'm sorry, but the Starfield background just makes this funnier.
No.
Well, day-night cycles determined by the orbit of the sun.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, and
Really? Yeah, no. I love the fact that we just get the same snippet of no and the same photo of his face. I love it so much.
name your shit, hacking, portals, all that stuff about the elements, Sean. This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
This is not good.
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo.
Buried buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunctions, animal husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing.
Wait, we had raining grass. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Retarded things.
I can't
Ships'
breathe.
interiors disappear. First person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet. Take off.
That's my only means of transportation, saying bye-bye to me.
Really take off. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out. Animals bugging out. Animals breakdancing. Look at these.
Animals breakdancing. Ooh.
And hello there. And a couple of unrequested ejector seats.
This is too
Okay,
funny.
that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No wait, poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines.
But wait, there's more. Oh my god.
Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guaranteed
Oh.
crash. Desktop notifications? That's a crash. Playing the game? That's a crash.
Playing the game is a crash.
Changing options in the game without restarting, you'll get this. And if you got the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship, you might have a problem.
Oh,
Your special
God.
ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So whoops, until they patch it, you're stranded.
Jesus Christ.
That's why I give my kids
No Man's Sky.
a fool.
Oh,
my ship's in bits! Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game and just how many people bought it on release, myself included. Over 750,000 purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month.
Jesus Christ.
And the large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends, well, you're in for a surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Oh.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends and know?
I remember the whole "we never promised you" multiplayer speech though. That part I do remember. Oh.
No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes. It's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you run into other people, other players in the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release, Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Oh my god. Damn. If this ain't a PR tweet going like, hey, I warned you guys.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh my
So it is
god.
multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
Right? No, it's more confusing than that. because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances that are incredibly rare, just because of the size of what we're building.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
A black pillar.
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now if you don't move.
Yep, that's the same spot. And they can't see each other.
I'm alone!
Damn.
That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big.
It's not multiplayer. Damn. That's so funny that people found each other in the first day.
It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer.
The guy basically wanted extra time to be able to like patch things and be like, well, surprise guys, now you can find each other faster, wink wink. Yeah, they got caught cheating. They got caught cheating the PR sale. The
And this
PR
led to
pitch.
quite a revolt. What did Sean have to say about all this?
So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day.
That has blown my mind.
So why can't we see other players in game?
It's a bug.
So many of you play.
Yeah, Sean, but why?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
So what's the game actually like then?
Is it any good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly
That's
is
so
stylish
funny.
and pretty.
I think
And there
it's
are
a
a lot
good
of places
game
to
now.
explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, leave the planet, go to another planet, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it.
And again,
$60,
and
ladies
again,
gentlemen.
and again.
Refuel your multi-tool.
What do you mean? What do you think we did in Spore? What do you think we did in our farming games? We just repeat cycles and New Year's pass and we just plant our crops, pick our crops, plant our crops, pick our crops. Clearly not a farmer.
Tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
How
What
dare
followed was
you?
one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October.
And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history. Reviewers on YouTube panned the game.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You done fucked it up!
I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Has anyone coined Sean Murray yet?
Numerous times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, this is it, fuck this shit.
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
You only had crafting in the sense that for your own survival needs, but you didn't really have anything really. You just explored planets and looked at different looking animals and stuff. Yeah, it had like one level of crafting back then, like refueling, eating like oxygen, your ship stuff.
Criticism was deafening.
I played the
And a
crap
lot of
one
it
for
really
a
funny
bit
and
as
creative.
well.
Krobycat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
So people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining
That That yawn was so contagious. That yawn was too contagious. I'm sorry, YouTube.
About the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks.
Fucking Minecraft in space.
Many people made compilations of all the unfulfilled promises.
Don't diss Minecraft, man. This was not Minecraft. This was pre-alpha Minecraft, maybe.
One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote. In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
Oh, wow!
So by the end of the month, Metacritic was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews.
Holy shit.
The outrage at the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications. And the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashing through the floor.
$1? People were giving away their copies for $1. Why? Why? Like, I understand the game was bad, but why would you give it away for $1? Does it hurt you that much physically if you just hold it?
Please, no more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No.
It's a place that looks nice.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
You know?
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to. This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out
I love the meme additions to this. Holy shit.
a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints.
Advertising standard authority."
But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam page. So it's technically not false advertising.
Wow. Damn, they good, man. They good. Absolutely insane. Hi, Tomaran.
But of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience. October 28th, Hello Games Twitter is hacked. The hacker posts, "No Man's Sky was a mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door,
shit.
even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so, naturally out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran.
Oh my god. That's insane. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Like, being disgruntled is fine and all, but like harassing, hacking, and like doing this is like, what is wrong with you?
This
Sleep
in
well,
addition to
demon.
numerous bomb and death threats during that period. Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony president Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky. The press took the ball with that one and ran.
Oh my god.
But despite all of this, all of the negative press, they were actually nominated for a couple of awards. But by this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
And the Innovation Award goes to...
Are you kidding me?
No Man's Sky.
They didn't even show up to. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I understand it. I wouldn't want to be there and get an award and feel really embarrassed about everything that I've done, but damn. I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it would be worse if they accepted the award or the fact that they're just not there.
This lovely trophy going once.
Oops.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry for them.
That's so awkward.
And then what followed that was the final straw for many.
Oh,
No particular.
please, that's enough. I love the way enough is said there. Vis-a-vis, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you.
Incident, but a lack of incidents.
Oh.
Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky. Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray?
Where's Murray?
The game was over.
Oh.
And it was dead.
Or was it? Pum pum pum! It's time for the redeeming arc. Honestly, I'm curious, like how it went from being this much of a shit show to actually being a game that people still give a chance. A lot of people don't give another chance though. Like I know many that refuse to touch it because of their initial behavior. Like I respect that, right? At the end of the day, they're like, I don't want to have anything to do with this type of company or people that have gone to this length, even if you redeem yourself. So, I personally, as I said, for me, I enjoy No Man's Sky. I haven't played in a few years, but it was pretty cool. It was fun to learn language and stuff like that, and hang out with friends in multiplayer, meet up, and do random stuff. And don't say sorry vis-a-vis. Don't say sorry. Like no one is forced or expected to subscribe. Like that is something completely optional, and I do appreciate every single person who does. But don't say sorry that you couldn't do it. You don't. It's not expected. Same story, other side. Back to the present.
2000 AD. Sean has just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world.
Or maybe not.
He rises up the ranks at a number of studios,
Mm-hmm.
eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3. When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio, Hello Games.
Mm-hmm.
This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger. They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place. Because who would be working at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night?
Huh? What? That's so weird.
But they had to work that hard. Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and
That's
funded what
crazy
we were doing,
dedication
which is not something
to
I would
something.
recommend anyone else do.
But by
It's very weird to hear that he sold his house, he went all in, and he banked on his dream. Why would you exaggerate and promise things you can't deliver? I guess he got caught up in the hype.
By June 8th, 2010, they had done it. The game was good, and they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back. 2 years later, Joe Danger 2 was released. It was not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into.
But people buy sequels,
Sean started
man.
working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Concurrent to all this development, he would go on to have 3 kids, so the weight of responsibility is really piling on. But their hard work will pay off, as they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
A cozy toasty fire.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news.
Never mind.
Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England.
Jesus
right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around at waist height. But some good news. They hadn't lost any data. So they pull together. Soldier on. Development continues. So
they
there
don't
they are,
lose any
working in a
data
damp
from that
office,
entire
and then
flood.
Ding dong.
That sounds unbelievable, man. Like, what gods bless you that you don't lose data in that type of flooding. Oh.
Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis. He's seen the game, and he says, "They are using my super formula," in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. So back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
You are infringing on our Sky trademark,
they said in perfect text-to-speech.
What?
They had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive.
My God.
And they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit...
What? Excuse me? What is wrong with them? Sky TV? They trademarked the word Sky? Jesus Christ, man. That's just dumb.
Suit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years, right up until the month before release. So they get back to work and ding dong.
Ding dong!
It's Sony, with some good news for once. We like a game, kid. We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray.
I see. So it's so this is being painted as he's a person that didn't have any experience in how to PR or market things.
In his early 30s now. Not super young, but relatively young, and inexperienced for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure on.
I don't know, man. As a Forever 21 vampire, that didn't really have to do with media. You could try not lying out of your ass. Yeah. You know, that tends to usually solve all your problems.
It set deadlines. It's not.
Then again, I guess I do have experience because I was part of a diplomatic training course and I did talk to a lot of diplomats and politicians during high school. My god, those people can talk for like hours without saying a single word of value. Like they can string sentences and at the end of it, the question you asked never got answered. But it feels like it did. It's very wild. Like they're very, very good at it.
Not that it's Sony's fault, but they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks. From here, you can predict what's going to happen to multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features. So here's how the hype happened.
Here's how the hype happened, oh my god.
Scope of game. Time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple. But the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here.
This is special.
In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016.
Damn.
That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake.
Really?
That puts us...
Collector edition makes for bigger mistakes? I mean, if we look at Fallout 76... Yep, okay.
all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem. Because price tags set expectations. For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing.
Do they? Do they really? Do they? Oh, everyone that hates me saying that Starfield was boring, literally their argument is, it's a Bethesda game. What did you expect? For $100! Do they really set expectations?
Disappointing. Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no problem. But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed.
Really?
Then Murray went
Damn.
to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature. Now, some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews.
Yeah.
It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle
What's
finger
wrong
to
with
them.
you?
The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So, he's kind of stuck up there. In some ways, during the interview, he tries to temper expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And the big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I personally find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
literally the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game from 2013 to 2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
Right.
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP. Their project and plans are constantly in flux. They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the lying compilation it goes. So while this
Interesting. That's a funny one that I did not really think about. Rotating the planet confusing people because they end up landing in different places. It makes sense from a logical perspective, but it would be shitty for gameplay perspective. But it's very weird that the same thing could be said from the opposite side of because if someone says something in passing in 2013, you shouldn't expect it in 2016. Because features get scrapped. People change their mind. Riot said they're making a bloody MMO, and then they said they're delaying it. Blizzard promised us PvE, and then completely scrapped it after saying we're gonna get less of it. Things change. But, yeah. Disclaimer, by the way, for the comment section, I am not defending those people. I am laughing at the state that we're at right now, okay? But yeah, I don't understand why like people set expectations so high. They're almost set it so that games fail under the weight of expectations. Meanwhile, we have like banger games just coming out with no marketing or being super unknown or under the radar. And being so good. Like, look at Lethal Company. Look at the game that was free for... Thank you, Rora. Sorry. Look at the game that was free for 1st of April. Content warning, yeah.
They're still essentially formulating the game. The media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done.
Mm-hmm.
This is how journalism is done.
Can you customize the look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky.
Bruh, journalism is a joke nowadays. Oh, it's literally a joke. They will say anything to get you to click on it.
Periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength.
Told you. The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point. They are close to the deadline and have to delay, and the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face.
Yeah.
They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game. They're worried. There's nothing more they can do. And the fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
You don't say. I wouldn't say that makes any of an excuse, though. Like, you still cracked under pressure and couldn't handle interviews after being done poorly by game journalists and having your words misconstrued. You'd think you'd learn and shut your mouth, right?
I worry about
this is fine.
Disappointing people.
I'm okay with the events that are
Upon
unfolding
release,
currently.
all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar.
He
And what
is a
doesn't
liar.
help is his body language. I mean, it's kind of the body language of someone who is lying. And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert. Remember, he's a technical lead. Actually, a really good one. But not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack, because this is simply how he talks. Here are some...
Cut him a bit of slack. He's just a pathological liar. Okay. I understand his point. Like, I'm making an exaggerated joke about it, but like, I understand his point, right? That he is not the man for the job. And because of this, the project was an even bigger failure than it should have been, right? Like, it could have just been a bleep under the radar. It could have just been a game that was kind of like, eh. But he's, at the end of the day, right? People look at him and blame him for everything that went wrong. That's like, no. I don't think people should go after him and go like, you're the reason why No Man's Sky was like really bad. Yes, he overpromised. Yes, he overstated, which might have in turn led to development problems that we'll never know, because I don't know if they'll ever talk about how much pressure there was to add the features that were promised or things like that, right? But that doesn't excuse the fact that he went live and lied to thousands of people and was fine taking their money for things that were not even in the game, like multiplayer. Like, that's not an excuse. I'm not gonna go and be like, oh, poor man, he was so stressed. I'm stressed. People that live paycheck to paycheck are stressed. You don't see us lying out of our fucking ass on Kickstarter, promising you the world, and then going like, well, this is the best that we could do. Like,
some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
Lead producers on No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the creator or something like that. No, I really like making games. I don't necessarily love talking about making games.
I think you did a good job,
even
Sean,
though you guys are very nice.
Mate, seriously.
Same body language. And Jesus Christ, they have him up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report. Try keeping your nerve on that. Nonetheless, free of that context, the clips have him cemented in the community as a liar.
Because he is a liar. The fact that he is an introvert that isn't suited for the job and yet remained there despite feeling uncomfortable, visibly displaying the fact that he's uncomfortable, being super stressed and everything. Like, I'm sorry. It doesn't excuse the fact that he is still a liar. Like, don't paint introverts as people that are incapable of having speech, like a speech, or hold such a position. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel bad for him.
Outright to release. And that graph, it's actually a track.
But like, despite feeling bad for him as a person, I still think that he remains a liar, right? Like, he still did the lie. The deed is still done. And people should learn to recognize when they're not suited for something and not push through. I'm not saying like coddle people, right? Like, it's also important to be able to like push your boundaries, see if you're okay or not, right? Like, test yourself every now and then. But if you're increasingly not up to the job and feeling the weight of everything and feeling like, you know, you're about to start hyperventilating at how uncomfortable you feel being in front of people and having to deal with that, and you constantly tell people on interviews that you're not a people person and you don't want to be there and you don't want to talk, right? Like, he said it in an interview, I don't like talking about them. Like, those are signs that say, get off, stop. Like, get off the train. Don't just keep being the conductor of that hype train. It's not even just that. It's, if you excuse all the lying aside, the part with the multiplayer is the thing that got me the most. It's the part where he said, the No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game, right? Like, don't have that expectation. But then he told people that it's just because it's too vast so people wouldn't meet each other. and never confronted or admitted to that when the video was made. I don't know if he did later on, but yeah. It's like everything combined, like, of course it's gonna cement that type of vision in it.
And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill. Instead of neatly pulling into the station, it comes crashing right through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on. So there were Sean and Hello Games, surrounded by the rubble of their former reputation.
Christ, they did.
Punished Sean was at his lowest point, hated by the majority of the gaming community. But they were still alive, and they had made tens of millions of dollars. They were left with two choices. Take the money, start a new project, and be a pariah, a cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
It allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times, whether it was crappy bosses that I've dealt with before or crappy situations at school growing up. I got my head down, I sat in front of a computer, and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2. So, here's the plan.
Yeah, like, I can look at him and be like, he's a liar, but I can still commend the fact that, unlike a lot of people that just decide, okay, well, we're rich, so we're just gonna go out in this blaze of poop, right? They at least turned the game around without asking for more money, which is something very rare nowadays. Which, in all honesty, I think, like, it's not necessarily out of the good of their heart. I think it's mandatory to have a redeem arc or even have another chance. Because let's be real, right? They're not Bethesda where they can just charge for extra shit to fix the game.
Plan. The team is assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game, and he reroutes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly to him now.
Damn. But yeah, to clarify what I said earlier is, like, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. It's just speculation on my part. They could have just done it out of the good of their heart, right? But again, I think it's an action that is needed.
Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours, people who have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data.
Yeah, he's doing what he's actually good at. Basically, he's now doing the thing where he's actually good at, where he can show his skills and be comfortable and everything.
Focusing on the people with the most sincere experience of the game. Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding and prioritizing. First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc, etc. This is going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they would need to sharply adjust their PR strategy. Anything they said right now, an admission of guilt,
I've made a severe,
would be met with criticism.
Yeah.
Denial, it's not that bad, would be met with criticism. Corporate speak, well, we endeavored to make the best game we could and we are proud of what we have, would be met with criticism.
Yeah.
Half of the problems have been caused by speaking too much.
Hey, let's go! I finally learned to shut the hell up. Yay! Let's give it for Murray and the team. No, but really, like, they basically needed to shut up and actually just work.
This is
So they
fine.
were going to do a
I'm
complete
okay with the
180.
events that are unfolding currently.
Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered, they
Alien
wouldn't
anime
speak to the
girls.
press again.
Female traits you're talking about, I'd say that's a generalization.
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on. So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent.
Let's go!
1 day passed. No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. No, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them. Just work.
Just
3
ignore
weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
A month. They took the fucking money and ran, didn't they? Didn't say anything. It's not going to help.
Don't say anything. I love the part where he's like, shh, shh, guys, we're not home. We're not home. We gotta deliver. Crack it down. Overtime. Paid overtime, hopefully. Let's go.
3 months. By now, most people were convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over. Then, after over 100 days of absolute silence, a tweet. Foundation. The first big patch. It is me, Sean. No, go away, Sean. I am mad at you. It has been too long. But I bring you gifts. Accent sucks. It brought base building, new game modes, farming, camps, and freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes. You will have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back.
Very true.
It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So
Yeah.
Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work.
Whipped.
A few more
Crack
months
the
went
whip
by,
a bit more.
and then another tweet. Pathfinder.
What do we have here?
What the fuck? We went from cute to vandalizing in one frame, man. November, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome.
Oh, it's you, Sean. I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships,
Oh.
starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles you can drive around in, and create racetracks for them too with time trials. Look at this. Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm still mad, and there's still a ton promised that isn't in the game yet. So Sean went away once more.
I love the pile of bricks just sitting there.
A few more months went by. Knock, knock. Oh, it's you, Sean. What is it now?
What is
I bring you an overhaul to the storyline. New worlds, crashed freighters, space combat, terrain editing, portals,
I think this
procedural
is
mission
when
system,
I
interstellar
started
trading,
playing it
and
again.
joint exploration. By now,
Yeah,
people were
the joint exploration. This is the patch that I actually joined in on.
really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this was an honest effort to fix the game, and the number of employees working on it was growing.
Well, duh. They actually had the funds to hire people. Go startups.
From a studio of 15 to 25, Sean Murray and Hello Games.
I like how it put his kids there. Or at least PNGO babies. The team grew. 2 babies.
Social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game secondhand on Amazon, eBay, and GameStop was going up.
Let's
Then a few
go.
more months went by. Next, a really big patch.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit, the planet! I just got goosebumps.
When people actually were like, fleets? All is forgiven.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's the full and proper multiplayer experience.
Let's go.
Ringed planets, third-person mode, character customization.
Actually,
a
what
galactic
was
atlas
promised.
on an external website for the community. Vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources. And it also brought the game
That crafting,
to
though.
Xbox. In fact, with the release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month. It climbed its way back into Steam's top 10. It reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players. It brought another $24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating went
Fortnite
from
may be
mixed
slowing
to very
down.
positive. People were getting back on board in a big way. But they weren't done yet. Better creatures, weird underwater shit, discoveries in bases and environments and equipment, and it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch.
They were making out on the couch. Oh man. But yeah, this is what I mean, right? At the end of the day, despite him lying and everything, which is not something I excuse, No Man's Sky actually has a redeeming arc where they did all of these patches for free. They spent the time and the money that they took from people and actually worked on things. It doesn't excuse the way they started and went about it all, but it does show the fact that they are developers that cared about their product and their baby, like the project. Nice pause. Thank you.
That's hot.
Like, I think from that perspective, I respect the team for like plowing through all the negativity and going forward with a vision of what they actually want to do. I do think a lot of their problems was based on a lack of funding, a lack of experience, a lack of understanding the market. And, well, at the end of the day, it seems money solved all their problems. But it doesn't excuse their beginning. That's still going to be a thing that, at least in my eyes, is gonna like taint their future projects if they do go for a future project. But it shows that they're capable of learning. Like, with all these updates, it shows that they're capable of learning, improving, listening, and actually putting out what they wanted. They started a team of seniors, yes, but they still didn't have the people. And despite being a senior, you can just be a senior that works on something, right? Being a senior somewhere doesn't mean you have the knowledge of how to do your own thing on your own. You just know how to work within a system. You don't know how to build a system yourself, if that makes sense.
Which was when he released his biggest patch to date of this video.
Oh my god, dude!
Free VR support. Not a whole other game you have to pay for, like some titles. Overhauls to NPCs, tech trees, base building, streamlined multiplayer, ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
Yeah,
Someone
they
at
are.
Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out another patch the other day, with ship salvaging, ship upgrading,
How
more
long?
advanced terrain editing, first-person exocrafts, improved VR,
How long has the game been out for now?
improved base building and inventory management and quality of life stuff. It goes on. Is it perfect? Technically, there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're starting to nitpick. Especially when you
8
compare them
years.
to relationships with other games companies. They could have gone the route of Fallout 76. Paywall mods.
Reminds me of 7 Days to Die, who rehauled and changed their systems and added so much over 12 years of early access. But the difference is they actually stayed in early access instead of like going, we want $60 off the get-go.
With Fallout first, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral more and more into pay-to-win scraps released without QA testing. But instead, they never added pay-to-win. They never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources back to do it. They didn't come out and call all gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel.
What do you mean? Overwatch took away our loot boxes because the loot boxes were too fair. Now we just pay money or suffer. I'm nitpicking at the examples, but yes, that's exactly what I said, right? Like, they at least didn't add and ask for more. I don't know whether or not this is because they didn't have the goodwill of being because they were a new studio, or if just how they are as people. Time will tell, unfortunately. That is literally a time will tell situation. Because they didn't have the goodwill to burn. Which is a lot of these people do. Like take Ark, right? They started in early access, they were in early access, and they released a DLC. While in early access, they asked you to pay money for a DLC expansion instead of working on a base game. So, like, you know, I commend No Man's Sky for the fact they didn't do any of that. But I don't know if they didn't do it because they're good people or because they don't have the goodwill to spend. And that's the part where I'm skeptical and wary. Maybe it's cynical of me. Maybe it's like a very bleak way of looking at things. Maybe. Ark didn't have the goodwill. It had the goodwill because it came out in early access. People weren't mad about the game from the get-go. That's what I mean by goodwill. They had some goodwill. Not a lot of it. And like, look at Ark now. They're reselling the game with improved graphics because they decided to change the engine. So they're selling it for double the price. And people are buying it because they're happy about Ark. Like, Ark is one of those games that, for me, I'm just never gonna touch. I love survival games. I love survival crafters. And yet I refuse to give them any of my time and energy because of this. Because they released an early access DLC. Like, they could have just raised the price of the DLC, of the main game, of the base game. They could have just made it, hey, it's a bit more expensive. That's what Minecraft did. Minecraft was $5, and then they were 10, and they were 15, right? Like, they gradually, as they progressed, they raised the price to have more funding. And they worked on it, right? There are ways to do the exact same thing, but nice, instead of being scummy.
They didn't do much of anything except get back to work. And just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky next.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's next.
Hey, and they actually attended the awards this time. Sorry, I couldn't help myself at the joke.
No Man's Sky.
And to cap it all off, the subreddit No Man's Sky the Game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to have a billboard installed near the Hello Games offices.
Damn.
It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team. They took a huge risk to start a small studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation, disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history.
They really did, though.
The family, post-release, we faced some really difficult challenges.
Yeah.
Everything that you can imagine from like the worst of the internet, we hit.
But then over the course of the next 3 years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story. And after doing all of this research, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys.
Gay!
So what is the future for Hello Games? In 2017, they announced
Oh,
Hello Labs,
God.
a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation. Two of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire. But for the foreseeable future, they're just working on No Man's Sky.
Dylan Nelson, you gave the moment the video goes live. I know it. That would have been funny. That would have actually
I
been
didn't want to
funny.
finish the video on like a big sappy note. So, this is the end of the story, but there's still another few minutes. Don't leave. It's not an ad. Okay, in 2015, when the hype was at its peak, Someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fanfiction, and, naturally, I assumed that you lot would want to see it.
What?
So, here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games.
What?
I arrived at the Hello Games office in the early evening, as the sun was approaching the horizon. Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell.
I'm
the door
intrigued.
opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us."
Oh, God.
"I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I said. "Oh yeah, the interview. I forgot," he replied with his usual brilliant humor. I laughed. "You're so funny, Sean. Let me show you my office."
What is this
"I have a surprise
romance,
for you,"
man?
Sean said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise," he said, softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard.
Christ.
It's sexy,"
Oh
I
my
pretended
God.
to say to him in my head to myself.
Oh.
I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. "So here's the game," he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world just calling out to be explored. I began to sweat. Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke. "Could I try playing?" I said.
This is so gay.
"I
It's
suppose,
brilliant.
of course," he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the controls. "Sean," I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes. I stared deep into his beautiful, glistening eyes, utterly transfixed.
Yes.
"Sure," he said. He let go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip.
Ah, not the moist. Not the moist sound effect.
But I have another surprise to show you. He stood up. "My," he muttered. "Yes, please," I said, blushing as red as the treetops of Aurea 5. He grabbed my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release.
So he lied and enlarged his penis? Got it. Got it. You were actually looking at it for
The one true Sean
From
Murray,
microscope.
not that baby-faced loser asshole poser from NCIS. Made sweet, sweet love to me. I wasn't sure what I was more excited about. Finally,
Redacted.
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky. After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space,
Redacted.
it was an out-of-world experience.
God! I need to add a goal to read fanfic on stream. Oh, I need to do this as a goal. The story got overly graphic and a bit boring.
Oculus
Like the game on release. Who would have expected?
Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit. "Like what you see," he said. "It's time, everybody," he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets, I realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was about to be
Redacted
by a group of Sean Murrays.
The gangbang.
But they all had one difference. The big...
Redacted.
Each piece.
Oh my god!
There were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical. As the Hello Games team began to
Redacted.
From somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, "Every
Redacted.
procedural."
Also, I did a thing on the second channel. Please do check it out. I thought it was quite good.
Oh god!
Erotic fanfiction over there. Why not?
No erotic fanfiction, Jesus Christ. Who the heck wrote this fanfic, man? Who did this? This is brilliant. I think I need to add a goal for the birthday bash to read fanfic now. This sounds hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It was very funny. Oh, God. It was very cringe and very funny and very gay. It was awesome. Oh, that being said, not being sidetracked by the fanfic, TLDR of the video, I think overall No Man's Sky's redemption arc is nice. I am happy for them. And I don't think they are the good guys is like the outcome that I would personally take out of this story. Like I don't agree with internet historian. They're like, no, they're not the good guys, but they are decent enough to realize they fucked up and adapt and, you know, hopefully change for the better. Yeah, like I can forgive them, right? I can forgive them for stuff. Oh. This was too funny though.